Welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, if you haven't, then welcome. Short video today, very short video today, as today is World Mental Health Day. And I don't know, I feel a bit ambivalent about whenever we have these world days for, world this day, world that day. But I think World Mental Health Day, yeah, it's worth a mention. If only just to raise the profile of it again. It's an area that I do work with quite extensively. It's an area that I'm personally involved with, and I've never made any real secret of that. And people who know me will know that I can occasionally be exceptionally volatile. It's part of it. It's part of it. I will put some links in the description to two documents that I wrote years ago. They're both available on the MadeByMartyn website. One of them is about cancer, the other one is about depression. I would urge you, if you haven't read them, to give them a cursory glance, because it's my take. I don't do tea and sympathy in exactly the same way that, I don't do, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't do that. But hopefully what I do conveys a degree of sincerity and sensitivity. And the thing with mental health issues is very often, well, they're hidden. We know they can be hidden. So you could be stood in the queue at the supermarket behind someone who's that far away from jumping in front of a bus. You'll never know. Whereas if someone's been on a skiing holiday or, been down to the skateboard park and breaks a leg, you can immediately tell because you can see the pot on their leg. It's a visible sign of that injury. Well, depression and other mental health issues are an injury of the mind in exactly the same way as a broken leg is an injury of the body. You can't see them. In many ways, I'm wondering whether a part of my reluctance to develop this here as a venue and tap room, because we have run it as a venue before. We've had some bands play, we've had parties, and etc. But they've always been fairly ad hoc. They've never been very formalised. I've occasionally found when running the groups that an hour is probably about my max, and then after that I just want to go and lay down for a couple of hours. So again, I'm very conscious of those influences. And I try to enable other people to be aware of those influences too. So remember that person in the queue at the supermarket. You don't know. Similarly, you might be that person in the queue at the supermarket, and other people won't know. So mental health is it's a very difficult area to address, but needn't be. It needn't be difficult. It need be no more difficult than approaching someone who's got a broken arm, broken leg. But it takes patience and sensitivity and understanding. Suggesting to someone who is expressing symptoms of clinical depression that they pull out of it. Oh, be right, shake it off, lad. Oh, give us a smile. It's about as much use as telling someone with a broken leg to run for a bus. And I know it's done with the best of intentions. It's not. Things like that aren't said to be hurtful. Things like that are said to try and be helpful. But they do represent a lack of sensitivity and understanding. So I'll put down in the, down in my groin where I'm pointing, down in the description underneath this, the links to those two documents I've written, one about cancer and one about depression. So it's World Mental Health Day. If this applies to you, then you're not alone. If this applies to someone that you know, someone you care about, someone you love, you'll know what it's like, because you will probably suffer just as much as them at times. But World Mental Health Day can be a focus. It can be an opportunity. It can provide an opportunity to talk more openly about these things. And if you have the strength, if you have the courage, and if you have the support, do so. And what I have often found myself saying to people is, look, even if I'm having a shit time, my door's always open. And the kettle here very rarely cools. It's always warm. And I prefer to spend an hour listening to you than spending an hour attending your funeral. So I'll leave it at that. World Mental Health Day, whatever you're doing, and this is more important perhaps today than any other day, you do it carefully. Look after yourself and those that you care about, and you take care out there. Because the world can sometimes be a very cruel place. Until next time, you take care. Cheers.